Hey, this is ASpengler, and today we have another vehicle build. This week it is the Daimler or Dingo British armored car. I decided to do this one just because I wanted to build up my British forces a little bit more. So I was looking through my a booklet of different armored vehicles and tanks and such, and I saw this one and it looked pretty cool, so I decided to give it a try. So this is how it turned out, but before we go too far into the review, I did take some time lapses of the build, so we'll go ahead and watch those and then come back and go through the vehicle. Okay, after looking at the time lapse, we didn't get a lot of the turret built during the time lapse. Also, there's some other big changes that you might notice on the build, so I couldn't quite decide how I wanted to make some of the curves and some of like the road guard or the wheel guards and stuff like that. Turret was a little bit tricky. I find when I do a vehicle like this and still try to add a lot of detail to it, there's a lot of difficulties just trying to capture those details with such a small scale, and especially with using Lego pieces. So it might not look quite exactly like the armored car, the Dingo, or which was what it's more commonly known as. You probably more recognize it if it didn't have the turret. At least there was a lot of pictures of it without the turret, and then there was a few pictures with it with the turret, so I decided to make the variant with the turret. I did see a lot of medical variants that didn't have the turret, and there was just medical markings on it and such, so that might be something I do in the future. Make the version of it that does not have the turret and has like the Bren gun inside of it. But the Dingo also is fairly similar to a lot of the other British armored cars that they had made at the time, so they're all fairly similar, but I decided to do this one just because it seemed like it was one of the more common ones. And as far as some features, I included some turning for both sides of the wheels, so it's just on that plate with the pin coming out the bottom, so that allows it just to move back and forth, and I have that for both the front and the rear, so that gives it a cool effect of being able to turn the wheels. There are these panels, but they're not really supposed to. Well, in the vehicle they do have doors that open on the sides, but was not able to capture that completely just because I ended up putting the spare wheel and like a crate on the side just for details. Since it's so small, I didn't include that side door there. Some engine details, and then we do have the rotating turret, and it can traverse up and down. Also have the back hatch, so you can fit a minifigure in there. I might have made this a little bit smaller than it should be, but As far as Lego scale or minifigure scale, it fits fairly well. It might, but again, it is probably a little bit small. So, if I do the variant that has just the machine gun and not the top turret, I might end up expanding it a little bit, just because there are two minifigures or two people that would be inside the non-turreted version, just the gunner seat and the driver seat. And as you can see right here, it doesn't really have space for two minifigures in there, so that might be something that has to be edited for the future. But other than that, I thought some of these curves for the wheel guard was a little bit difficult, so I changed that a couple times, but I think it represented fairly well, so I thought it turned out pretty good. But we'll see. There might be some more changes when I start working on the other version. But as far as upcoming vehicle builds, this probably is going to be the last one for a little while, just because I'll be going back to school. But I will record a couple Army videos before I go off to school, so you'll have those to see some of the vehicles and such. So that will be something to look forward to in the next month or so. That will be it for the vehicle and minifigure content for a while. Some other things, I'll probably do some mini mocks on the side, but this again will be the last Army video until I come back after my school term. So with that, that's going to be it for this video. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.